I want to start with what's going on in Palo Cedro. We always talk about, it says it right there, one community at a time. We obviously love Palo Cedro, live out there. And then about 6 months ago, something came to our attention because they held a community meeting. So this map right here, I can give the background. If you can't see it, what had happened is it's hard to get exactly who you could point it at. And I think that's kind of not important because it's in history now. But they basically said, okay, Palo Cedro needs a specific plan or a town center to be identified. And we're going to make a plan for what all we want to see in Palo Cedro. And it's kind of this, everyone gets a say. We're all going to come together as a community. Feels good, right? You're going to do this thing. So this company whose logo is on the corner, Opticos, is who did this meeting with the town. The meeting, I think the longest notification we got was about a week. And then they held it at Foothill High School. Mm-hmm. They did an earlier stakeholder meeting in the morning for people that own property, which they outlined in this red line.
Own property on this map.
In this map.
Okay.
As stakeholders, because they're going to be affected by this plan, town plan, right? Which is cool. So we're sitting there and there's like a couple business owners I know, developers I know, and the company's talking and the county's talking and they're talking about all that we can do with the plan. We're sitting there listening and they say, and there's only one little string because we're going to fund this through grants, and that's a housing string. Well, business people in California go, whoa, what? Okay, so it's grant funded. And then there's a string attached. So that piques everyone's interest. And the questions don't get answered there in that meeting. The stakeholders are kind of left. We got to go into the next thing. We got to move on. And those that were proponents of the plan are sitting in the back of the room like, that went terrible. They didn't deliver the information accurately or didn't deliver it how the county had been telling them or whatever their thoughts were in that moment. But they thought it went really bad. For us, it went really bad because we're the stakeholders in here and we're saying, wait, we're tied to a grant? Pump the brakes. Where did that get approved? Where did that come from? The whole thing. We're just in shock.
Grants don't often come without some kind of a string.
Right? There's an agenda to a grant. It's rolled out under a program that has goals. It has policy. It has all these things attached to it. Sure. So they picked some of the history, and this is good for the whole county to understand for those local listeners, even if you're not in Shasta County. A lot of the housing grants that come down, I was told that ultimate trails back to Obama's housing plan that went down, and then California, and now Newsom is the representative of the housing plans. But it's basically, we have this housing epidemic in California, which is arguable when you look at certain stats. But that's what they keep saying because they want more affordable housing, right? That's the socialist agenda. That's where our social programs are now funded. At 40% or something of state budgets going to social programs.
Affordable housing, is that synonymous with low income housing?
So that's what I'll cover. For sure it is. I guess we just talk about that now. It's a great point. So what I learned in my research is there's affordable, and that's the umbrella term. Underneath it, they have all the categories for low income. I think they say it's extremely low or something drastically low or something like that. And then low income, then there's low to moderate, and it's all based off percentage of median income, which are all trigger points for different social programs where you can get rent subsidies, you can get food subsidies, all these different categories within the state. So we get this map. These programs also require that the funds from these grant programs be spent in areas with sewer, water, and some of the grant language says transit. So Palo Cedro checks two of those huge boxes.